Tonight, in their final home game of the season, Minnesota fans will say goodbye to Kevin Friedland. Player, coach, ambassador for professional soccer in the Twin Cities. However, sentiments must wait as a red-hot Strikers team comes to town. Fresh off a, count 'em, 6-goal performance last week, United looked to make it a historic night on the pitch. It's a great night for celebration on and off the field. Minnesota United and the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, next. Minnesota United will hope to rebound after a heartbreaking loss last week and give their fans a good showing in the final home game of the season tonight against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Hello everyone, welcome to the National Sports Center in Blaine, and thank you very much for joining us on KSTC Channel 45. I'm Chris Liddum, and alongside me, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Minnesota Soccer, Buzz Lagos. And Buzz, as we saw here last week, Minnesota United going down in defeat by a score of 1-0 to Carolina on a 52nd goal by Enzo Martinez. Their opponents tonight, Fort Lauderdale, they had a pretty good time last weekend, defeating the Atlanta Silverbacks in Atlanta by a score of 6-2 and starting the scoring for the Strikers in that game. A man very familiar to Minnesota fans who's been named to 3 consecutive Teams of the Week, Martin Nunez.
Martin was a great player in Minnesota, and he's turning out to be a great player in Fort Lauderdale, too. Very crafty, skillful player on the goal. He's going to cause havoc for defense.
Now, this will be an emotional day for one Minnesota United player. We're talking about Kevin Friedland, who, after a wonderful 10-year career, will step away from the field as a player. But if all of us who know him very well, there are going to be a lot of options for him in the future.
Kevin has had a great career as a player, coach, community liaison, a wonderful asset to Minnesota soccer. I enjoyed having him come on board early on in his career, and what an asset.
Now, as one piece of Minnesota soccer history kind of steps away from the field as a player, Minnesota United now will look to kind of build towards the future. And one of those things important to building in the future are creating relationships with the cities around the Twin Cities area. Creating a wonderful relationship with the city of Woodbury, where a beautiful state-of-the-art practice facility is currently being built for Minnesota United.
It's great to have a community support the Minnesota United like Woodbury is going to, and have such a wonderful first-class professional facility in our area.
All right, let's go down field side to Lindsay Gensel for more.
Thanks so much, guys. Coach Lagos, this fall season, coming on the road, most notable tough road or home loss for you guys was last week against Carolina. What's important for this last home game for you guys today?
I think it's important for us to mentally and physically have a good game. You know, again, I think we've played well at home at times. We just haven't gotten results. So tonight, against a very good team, it's important for us to be sharp the whole game. You know, it's a chilly night and a lot of adversity.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Best of luck. Stick around. We've got lineups coming up and kickoff in just a few minutes.
Minnesota United fans in Nicholas Thompson. George is 7 years old, plays for the Orono Thunder Soccer Club. And Nicholas is 8 years old and plays for the Eden Prairie Soccer Club. Please give George and Nicholas a round of applause to welcome them and their families to the game today. Thank you for your support of Minnesota United FC. Fans, please welcome defender Kevin Friedland and his family as they take the field. Kevin, in your letter to the fans, you said this: to those fans who were here long before I arrived in 2004, to those fans who experienced the last decade with me, and to those who will continue to support professional soccer in Minnesota in the future, I want to say thank you. On behalf of your coaches, teammates, friends, and everyone in attendance here tonight, we would like to say thank you for all the hard work, devotion, tears, triumphs, and memories that you've given to the team, the fans, and the community. Again, thank you for all you have done for all of us at Minnesota United FC. Okay, fans, everybody on your feet. It's time for the t-shirt toss. Let's make some noise. Please watch out for silver balloons racing in time for the t-shirt. Don't be there, guys.
Welcome back to the National Sports Center, and everyone. Chris Lidholm along with Buzz Lagos and Lindsey Gensel. Thank you again for being with us on KSTC Channel 45. Quickly, we'll get into the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Fort Lauderdale Strikers. In goal will be Sanchez. The four in front of him will be Guerrero, Antonievich, Alves, and King. Through the midfield, Paulo Jr., Salazar, Pekka, and Restrepo. And starting up top, Nunez and Perez. Minnesota United, they will start this way. Getting his first start at home will be Mitch Hildebrandt. Defensively in front of him, Davis, Pitchkolin, Tobin, and Venegas. The midfielders are Ibarra, Minnesota with those five midfielders. We'll kind of see Floyd Franks and Omar Daly kind of push up to.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see Miguel Ibarra. Looks like he's lining up in the middle of the field to start out and help out in the middle, and we'll see what happens in this new lineup setup.
Miguel Ibarra with the new hairstyle you can see right there in front. We are underway at the National Sports Center. It's Minnesota United in all gray along with the black socks, and Fort Lauderdale Strikers, they are in the gold tops, black shorts, and gold socks. Quickly up the left side go the Strikers. Over to it first is Aaron Pitchkolin. Little touch now, Paulo Jr. Antonievich tries to turn and tripped up there by Campos. Early foul once again called against Pablo Campos.
Both teams will come out with good, intense defending right away. They're going to pressurize. Minnesota wants to get the ball back quickly and go on the.
Ivan Guerrero, the player of the week for Week 12, along with the member of the team of the week. Ivan Guerrero, along with Martin Nunez, Yakel Perez, and Bradley Valadez, all named to the Team of the Week for Fort Lauderdale. And Miguel Ibarra named to the NASL Team of the Week in Week 12 for Minnesota United after a good performance in a 1-0 loss to Carolina.
Yeah, both Miguel Ibarra and Takata were very strong last week in that loss to Carolina. And great second half for both those players. Minnesota could not finish.
Here's Kentaro Takata. He'll switch it over to Venegas. Stepping up to pressure is Paulo Jr. Daly, defended by Guerrero. Ibarra with possession. Franks tried to play it through, and if Campos hadn't got a piece of it, that would have worked its way through to Lucas Rodriguez. Good tackle by Franks to win it back for United. Here's Daly. He'll swing it out to Davis on the left side. Rodriguez working the sideline. And now Tobin. Minnesota kind of working it around the back, maintaining that possession, trying to find something on top. Forwards up top, with the exception of Lucas Rodriguez, who came back, and we're going to have a foul called against Fort Lauderdale. The referee, the official for today's game, Burkhart, the fourth.
On that play, the defender just came through very strongly with the tackle right through the body of the player and drew that foul.
Darnell King with the foul and the word from the referee. So free kick here for Minnesota United upcoming. Justin Davis driving in, headed away by Antonievich. Ibarra now with it. Venegas around Nunez. Venegas, Ibarra. Out Daly. Driven back and headed away by Alves. Here's the counterattack now for Fort Lauderdale. Perez trying to shield off Ibarra. Ibarra wins it with the help of Franks. Franks coming out of it for United. Daly playing into the middle, and King will just touch it back to Sanchez. Needed to knock that one to the corner, Buzz, and let Campos run onto it.
Yeah, he also had Miguel Ibarra down the line, and it wasn't the best choice for his pass.
Antonievich, now Guerrero. That gets past Pekka. Here's Takada now for United. Ibarra immediately turns upfield. Bit of a horse collar there from Salazar, and the foul was called.
Yeah, the referee delayed a bit to see if there's any advantage, but he just wrapped his arm around Miguel Ibarra and drew that foul.
Touched high in the air by King. And then putting a head on it was Perez. Rodriguez now with possession for United. Back to Davis. Venegas bringing it forward. He'll give it to the midfielder, Floyd Franks, wearing the number 0. A number you normally see on the back of a goalkeeper jersey, but Floyd Franks a little bit different when a midfielder is wearing that number.
That's his choice.
In front of the Fort Lauderdale bench, Pitch Colin. Cool night here at the National Sports Center. Brisk Minnesota evening, just as you'd expect in late October. Here's Franks. Good run by Franks. Out to Daly. Taken down nicely. Daly trying to get the cross off. Nunez. This goes right back to Pitch Colin. Venegas smartly will knock it all the way back to Tobin.
Just a moment back ago, Daly just got caught in a little too tight. He's got to hold his width a bit more. As Franks came across, he wants to find them wide, so when the ball's played to him, Daly can attack and take the defender on.
Takada in for Campos. Marked closely there by Alves. King comes up with it, finding Pekka. Salazar. King forced to play it back. Good pressure put on by Campos, forcing the ball to be played back to Sanchez, who one times it out. Good strong header from Tobin. Pekka. Salazar. And Pekka once again. Salazar with the left footer, trying to play over the top, looking for Nunez. Venegas is there defensively for United. Touches it away, finding Daly. Pitch Colin wearing the captain's armband. Good turn by Franks. And a foul is going to be called against Rafael.
Again, Campos is shielding the ball well, and Alves is coming through his legs to get to the ball. That's a foul.
Venegas. Takada. He tried to knock it over the top, headed away by King. Good skill by Pekka.
A nice turn by Specka. Good control in that midfield. Keeping possession for Fort Lauderdale.
King goes back with the touch. Pekka wins it back for the Strikers. Attempted give and go. Intercepted by Rodriguez. Campos. And down by Alves. Play continues. Justin Davis bringing it forward for United. Up the line for Ibarra. Davis in the penalty area. Little chip, far post. Daly! Headed out by Fort Lauderdale's number 11, Paulo Jr. And the result will be a corner kick for Minnesota United.
Great defensive positioning by Paulo Jr. Got well back in front of Daly to make sure Daly didn't get power that shot on goal with a strong header.
We're in the 8th minute of play here. Minnesota United 0, Fort Lauderdale 0. To take the corner kick for United. This will be a left footer in swinger. Top of the 6. And they're going to call a foul, I believe, against Campos there, right about 7 yards out from the Fort Lauderdale goal. You know, it's a cool, brisk night here at the National Sports Center. A balmy 46 degrees on a beautifully groomed field of grass here. And National Sports Center always does a nice job keeping the field in job. And
teams love to come and play here, Chris. It's a wonderful facility for soccer.
Nunez, Alves. Bit of a miss hit. Sanchez has come about 22 yards out to knock that long.
Early on, Minnesota's done a very good job with possession, putting the pressure on Fort Lauderdale.
Here's Mitch Hildebrandt. Given right back, wide open net, and Hildebrandt. He's going to hug that ball for a moment because maybe a little bit of nerves. He realized the mistake. Fortunately, was able to escape with no problem whatsoever. But as you see, just a little in between and a good opportunity for Salazar. He was salivating when he saw that open net and couldn't quite put it away. And Mitch going to take a moment to himself and hopefully will do better from this point forward. Frank's trying to play it over the top. That's touched away by Antonievich. Daly comes up with it. Venegas. Good skill around Salazar. Good switch by Daly. First touch in, Rodriguez. Campos! Goal! Post!
Again, you mentioned the skill of Kevin Venegas just to get open and find Daly wide open, and the long driven ball by Daly, and the ball played first time across. It looked to be a little early, but I think Pablo Campos caught a ball off the keeper and just whacked it away for finally a goal for Minnesota from run of play. Chris, how many minutes?
It's been 300-plus minutes for Minnesota United, scoring a goal on the run of play. So scoring in the 10th minute, his 10th goal of the season. Number 9, Pablo Campos. The assist to number 32. Yes, Campos, the 10th minute, makes the score Minnesota United 1, Fort Lauderdale 0. Here now, Minnesota right back. This is Ibarra, forced to pull it back. Right-footed shot. That hit Alves.
Alves is down right now, Chris. He took a good crack.
Yeah, he took that shot a little bit south of the border. So,
but again, Chris, what I'll just point out: classy defenders take that shot in pain, maybe a broken leg. They still get the ball out of trouble first, and that's what good defenders do. And now he tries to recover in probably a lot of pain. But notice the ball was played out first.
Well, let's go back to that goal there for a second, you guys. So you said 300-plus minutes since the last goal. That is correct. It's actually 309 if it was scored in the 10th minute there. But then it's 108 minutes since the last goal that was scored. That, of course, coming from the penalty kick that Simone Braccolello scored in October. So quite a long time. It's been a long time since we've had a goal at home, so I'm sure the fans are very happy to see that. You can see what's happening over there with the dark clouds tonight. A much-needed goal in front of the home crowd, and it'll be celebrated tonight.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you, Lindsay. And you know, it seems like it's been a very, very long time for Minnesota United to get a win at home, let alone a goal at home. So, you know, it is. It's something that I think Minnesota needed, and now they just need to continue to build on that, because we have seen over the season during multiple games where Minnesota United has had that tough time to maintain that lead. You know, always kind of allowing that late goal, but. You know, maybe it's early here for United and they can kind of build on that goal.
Hopefully there'll be more coming, Chris. There's always in mathematics, we have these random occurrences, current bunches, and so there's one, maybe another will join the bunch with another goal in a few minutes.
Daly trying to get around Guerrero. Play continues. The ball at the feet of Salazar. Pitch Colin. Takada. Here's Davis. Tobin ahead to Franks. Good first turn. That's about 2 or 3 callers, I want to call them, by the Fort Lauderdale midfielders. And we'll see how much longer the referee puts up with it.
Yeah, it was good. Again, great touch by Franks. He sensed where the defender was and touched away from him and was on his way to help send him a good attack.
Pitch Colin knocking into the corner. Good ball from Pitch Colin. Rodriguez can't quite get to it, but the idea was right from Aaron Pitch Colin towards the corner flag.
Yeah, a little more bend to it, so to curl it back around. You want to get it up over the defender's head and kind of get that spin on it so it curls back towards your on-rushing wide left player.
1-0 our score here at the National Sports Center. Chris Lidholm along with Buzz Lagos and Lindsey Gensel for joining us here on KSTC Channel 40. Well up by Tobin to win that challenge. Pekka with possession. It'll be a pretty good matchup, Buzz, to watch. Will be the Franks and Pekka matchup throughout the midfield tonight. Guerrero. Good step by Venegas. Quick throw in by Guerrero. Gets it right back from Zalazar. And easily collected by Hildebrandt. Takada turned over. Here now, Fort Lauderdale with an opportunity to level it up. And a good diving save from Perez.
They win the ball. Good strike. And good save by Matt Hildebrandt.
King gets a piece of it. Rodriguez collects it for United. Davis. And Campos. Touched out by Alves, but the referee going to say it last touch Campos. Alves. Over to Guerrero. Guerrero on the left side.
This game.
Pekka. King. Back to Pekka. Pekka once again. Nunez. He'll swing it left. Salazar. Good run out of the back by Guerrero. Back to defend, though, is Ibarra for United. He'll nicely shield Guerrero off the ball. And it will be a goal kick for Minnesota United.
Wait.
We want to remind you, we'd like to hear from you throughout the game. If you want to send us your questions or comments via Twitter or Facebook, send us Twitter at MNUnitedFC. Make sure you use the hashtag GameDayQ. Or if you send them to us via Facebook, it's facebook.com/MNUnitedFC. So send us your questions and comments throughout the game, and we'll try and read some of your questions during the game this evening on Channel 45. Tobin goes down after being fouled. So free kick here for United. Venegas. Franks, now Daly. But they're going to call the offside first against Campos.
Yeah, Campos was just see that last defender. Just can't be run blind of that players behind. If they step up, he's offside.
There'll be a free kick here for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers after the offside against Pablo Campos. Stefan Antonievich to take it, the 6'6" defender. And his counterpart in the middle with him, Rafael Alves, stands 6'3", so a good solid defending trio as we look at chance here for Fort Lauderdale. Trickles. So, goal kick here for goalkeeper Mitch Hildebrandt, who is getting his first start in front of the home crowd in his second season with Minnesota United. Backing up Matt Van Oekel and Daryl Sattler this season. Matt Van Oekel and Hildebrandt, the goalkeeping duo last year. Good strong header there by Alves. Nunez. Ahead, hit too strongly, intended for Paulo Jr. And Hildebrandt collects it at the top of his 18. Pekka. Give and go with Nunez. Back to Nunez. King now in the center circle. Antonievich. A little back heel from Paulo Jr. Out to Guerrero. He's come back to collect that pass. Paulo Jr. One touch forward by Salazar. Good ball. Oh, good kick save by Hildebrandt. And off the opportunity by Perez.
A couple of great chances for Fort Lauderdale. They're just showing good composure, good skill in the ball, causing trouble for Minnesota. Watch the wonderful chip over the top of the fence. Comes in the strike. Great foot save by Hildebrandt. And that's something you have to teach soccer goalkeepers to with their feet. So
Connor Tobin is the player for United. Maybe his knee that he injured in the last game against Carolina. So the athletic trainer, Tom Smith, will come out and tend to Connor Tobin. So they're looking at that right knee, which is kind of bothering Connor Tobin this week of training. And he, injured it in the game against Carolina, like I said last week, and was a little ginger coming off. Finished that game, but now must have taken a bit of a knock and is down. As we look at Kevin Friedland warming up, and we'll go back down to Lindsay Kinsel.
We will check in with athletic trainer Tom Smith to get the lowdown on what's happening with Connor Tobin. I know he's been seeing him this week for numerous issues. Kind of a busy week in the trainer's office, but longtime professional soccer fans will be excited to know that Kevin Friedland, the guy retiring today after 10 years of professional soccer in the state of Minnesota, is warming up right now. So we'll get an appearance from him very, very soon.
And very much so, as Connor Tobin steps off the field, and replacing him will be the man we've all been talking about, who's playing in his last home game, number 6, Kevin Friedland. And he has been given the captain's armband from Aaron Pitchkolin. There you see Kevin Friedland, who, talking to him before the game, this was just another game to him. He was all business, focused, and ready to play this evening like he had another 10 years to play.
As a pro, you get ready for each game. You prepare well mentally, physically. You want to be sharp when you step on that field if the team needs you. I was going to make a comment about Perez is the one up on top for Lauderdale, and he's been a handful last couple minutes for Minnesota, and he's got a couple great shots, and Hildebrandt has made a couple clutch saves against them. It could easily be 2-1 for Lauderdale right now.
Wonderful crowd gathered here this evening at the National Sports Center. Dark clouds in full effect. And a quick hello to the Flight 19 and the Miami Ultras. Strikers fans watching throughout Florida. Good touch over Rodriguez. Nifty little back heel, Ibarra. He'll play it back to Davis. Friedland's first touch. Davis. Now taken over by Franks. Rodriguez. Daly. Now Takata. Venegas. All the way back to Pitchkolin. Friedland. Turned over. Here now, Fort Lauderdale. Nunez with it. Restrepo trying to find Guerrero. Now, Minnesota United with it. Good ball up the line from Daly. Miguel Ibarra. Top of the 18. Alves there ahead of Campos. Pekka swings it out to King.
Yeah, Campos got caught on the wrong side of Alves. He got to step in between those two defenders. Can't keep two as a barrier to that ball.
spoke with athletic trainer Tom Smith prior to today's game and talked to him about Connor Tobin's time in the athletic trainer's office, about his MCL sprain, obviously in his knee. But tonight, that's not the reason that he is coming out of the game. It's actually his right hamstring. So hopefully we'll get some more information about that as Tom kind of examines Connor on the sidelines.
Thanks, Lindsay. Hopefully it's nothing too terribly serious for Connor Tobin. He's been playing so well throughout the whole season for Minnesota United, and even though there's just the remainder of this game and one game to play, you want those quick recoveries because he needed to be back on the field for Minnesota United. Here's pitch Colin.
You see a little bit of this. Minnesota's showing more possession.
Davis. Good ball from Hildebrandt.
Onside too.
And Rodriguez running out of room, so it'll be a throw in for the Strikers. Knocked high in the air there by King. Off the head of Friedland. Right to pitch Colin. Hildebrandt. That'll run on from Campos to Rodriguez. Overlapping is Davis. Rodriguez has options. Out Davis. One touch across. Ibarra! Couldn't quite control, and he went up. He went at it foot, which is what you want to do. A lot of players in that situation go with the left foot, Buzz.
And he had to bend his run too because he got caught static instead of getting a little bending around the ball. So he's almost in that line, little bend outside the ball, and just not quite there yet. Again, got caught a little narrow on that service. Dangerous ball though.
26
Good opportunity for Minnesota.
26 minute here at the National Sports Center. 1-0 in favor of United on a goal in the 10th minute from Pablo Campos. Restrepo. Pekka. Nicely done there by Campos to come back. Daly around Pekka. Omar Daly slicing into the middle. Rodriguez, one touch back across. Ibarra. Daly now. Tries to split the defense, doesn't quite work. Guerrero plays it forward. Restrepo. Salazar. Nunez, good first touch. Martin Nunez will slow it up. Great. But they're going to call him for the foul. Maybe Kevin came in a little bit with the cleats up on that one.
Yeah, let's see what happens on it, Chris. I couldn't quite tell. Yeah, I think the feet were showing a bit. I think the referee just felt that was dangerous in that situation. I think a good call. I prefer to err on the side of safety in those situations and warn players to use their laces, not their cleats, when you're going for that ball.
Here's Darnell King with it on the right side, bringing it forward for the Strikers. Back to Guerrero. Guerrero who had 4 assists in Fort Lauderdale's win last week in Atlanta. Looking for another one here. Good service. Headed back down across by Salazar. And that's in, and we're level at 1. Scoring for Fort Lauderdale, Carlos Salazar.
And the ball was laid across beautifully to the far post area. Hildebrandt didn't have a chance for his bounce. Put back in and into the mix. And San Jose player Salazar was there to put it away to tie this game. Driven ball across by Guerrero. Up strong, down in front of the goal. Bounces back out, and Salazar's there to put it away. Up across, tucked away, and Salazar follows nicely and puts it away. I think Minnesota got in trouble. Daly and Kevin Venegas got a little confused about how to defend those 2 wide players, and they just left Guerrero wide open. And he got a wonderful cross in.
Takada's ball too strongly hit and into the hands of Sanchez. So scoring in the 28th minute for Fort Lauderdale. Number 14, Carlos Salazar. Salazar, for the Strikers, levels this game at 1.
Both teams keeping the tempo up.
Alves over to Salazar. He'll play it in. Headed away by Davis. Pekka down for Restrepo. Restrepo shielding Ibarra. Back to King. Trying to get it in is Paulo Jr.
Good skill by Junior. Get away from the defense and get that cross in.
Clearance by Friedland. That'll go off the head of Pekka, and it'll belong to Minnesota United.
And talking to Coach Lagos before the game, he really had great respect for Fort Lauderdale's skill, and they're showing that right now. Very skilled, confident in the ball, willing to run at players, open things up. Makes it tough for Minnesota.
King on the tackle. Referee signaling that King got all ball on that one. Franks recovering back. Hildebrandt. He'll clear it up and into the dark clouds.
Didn't want to use his left foot. He'd like to see keepers develop that left foot so they can play that left foot out and keep it in play.
Looking at Mitch Hildebrandt, you know, you guys said it's his first start of the fall season, but looking back, you know, he got hurt the first preseason with on his fifth metatarsal on his right foot. And the recovery time, according to athletic trainer Tom Smith, was just unbelievable. He had surgery done by Dr. Kosia and was way ahead of schedule, which is one of the reasons why we're seeing him out here tonight.
And he's made 2 great saves already in this game.
Yeah, he was just a very recovery, like Lindsay mentioned, and I remember seeing him, you know, kind of in a boot and walking gingerly and talking about it, and it was almost seemed like it was the next day, and he was out of that and already back out on the field. So that's a you know, credit to Mitch and his recovery and his rehab and his dedication to get himself back ready to play, and that's why he's out there tonight. Bit of a mishit from Daly. Salazar able to get it to Restrepo. Restrepo, good through ball. Paulo Jr. one time. That goes well wide.
Again, wonderful skill and pass by Restrepo. Gets a little space in the midfield, up over the top of the defense. And just could not get that ball on goal by Paulo Jr.
Venegas in for Takata. Over to Daly. Seems to be a little bit of a disconnect between Daly and Campos on it. There's been 2 or 3 opportunities.
Daly's struggling a little bit, Chris, right now. He just is, you know, the Putt gave the ball away just before then, mixed up in the defense and just led up to that goal. Again, hasn't had a lot of playing time, so he's learning the ropes right now.
Guerrero. Pekka, back heel. Guerrero. Now Paulo Jr. Overlapping is King. King couldn't quite handle the pass, but able to recover and get it back for the Strikers. Paulo Jr. now with possession. Not the best of passes, intercepted by Ibarra. Takata. To Campos. Foul call. Salazar.
Minnesota's working hard, overall playing quite well in this game, but so is Fort Lauderdale. Their players love to move around that field with a lot of mobility on that ball.
Davis slicing into the middle. Ibarra. Rodriguez. Now Takata with it. Good ball movement there by United to keep possession. Rodriguez. Bit hurried there from Lucas Rodriguez. Minnesota had been, prior to that, maintaining that possession on just some simple 1- and 2-touch ball, working it around.
But that key pass to keep possession is not there for them, and they need to be more confident in the ball. Both Rodriguez and Daly have given balls away that shouldn't be given away.
Antonievich with the left footer up the line, but out of play, so it'll be a throw-in for Minnesota United. 34 National Sports Center. Chris Lindholm along with Buzz Lagos and Lindsey Gensel as you look at head coach Manny Lagos. 1-1 our score. Scoring for Minnesota United in the 10th minute, Pablo Campos, and then Carlos Salazar getting the equalizer in the 28th minute for Fort Lauderdale. And a foul called against Nunez. So free kick right at midfield for Minnesota United.
Franks had the ball and stepped in. Nunez stepped in with his back leg and tripped Franks.
Davis, good ball up the line, good diagonal run by Ibarra. Over to defend is Alves. Alves, now Ibarra playing it through. King taking down Rodriguez, and the foul called against Darnell King. So position for Minnesota United.
Yeah, King uses his left arm and kind of pulls down Rodriguez and say, "What? That's not a foul. It was a foul." So I always argue one obvious foul because Rodriguez stepped in front, got good position, and King just yanked him and pulled him down.
The referee now calling Darnell King and Pekka over to have a few words.
Watch the replay.
See
Rodriguez steps in nicely. King just on behind, just pushing from behind.
Free kick here for Minnesota United. Floyd Franks to take that free kick.
It was good quickness by Rodriguez to get his body in between King and the ball, and King just got frustrated. And Rodriguez has the, ability to slow down. He's got the right to slow down. And King's got to slow down too. He just can't keep running over him.
Here's Franks on the set piece for United. Look to drive it into the mix. Bending in, headed out by King. The teams will stay here, and it'll be a corner kick for United.
I mean, those Redwood Sequoias for Fort Lauderdale in the middle of that corner kick situation, the penalty box makes it tough to head on these unless it's a well-placed corner. See what happened on the kick. Bending, dipping. Who's there? Fort Lauderdale.
Daly with the strike. And we'll stay here, and they'll do it again.
Great cutback to right foot. He strikes to the right foot and deflects off the Fort Lauderdale player for a corner kick for Minnesota. Fort Lauderdale is bringing all 11 players back to defend.
Franks on the corner once again for United. Keep it on the ground. Ibarra, Franks. Need a better service on those. And then Franks called for the foul as Pekka hits the...
Franks he has to get that ball up over that first defender at least to find the Minnesota player. Again, there's a little bit of a short corner that Franks played into Ibarra, lead it back out. And Franks did play the first time ball across, but it was not high enough.
To approach when, as Fort Lauderdale brought all 11 players back and they were within the 18, what's the best way to approach it? Is it a short corner?
You always look for variety, Chris. You don't want to be too predictable on it. And sometimes you want to hit a well-hit corner can beat even the best of defenses. So you don't want to overlook. With the short one, little defense a little bit, and perhaps you can get it in, and Franks gets that ball up and over to find Campos. It's suddenly a goal for Minnesota.
A foul being Lauderdale. Be Darnell King.
Again, good.
And we may see a yellow card, and sure enough, we do. So a yellow card issued to Fort Lauderdale's number 21, Darnell King.
Again, you saw defensively, and Darnell King just wrapped his legs around the Minnesota defender. Just took him down.
Darnell King goes into the book in the 38th minute for persistent infringement, because as the referee, prior to showing King the yellow card, pointing to the different fouls that King committed throughout these last few minutes, and persistent infringement, and King is in the book. And Hildebrandt gets the handball call against Perez. And if that wasn't a handball, that was probably an easy goal for Perez, and Fort Lauderdale could have been up by one.
Another good chance, and Hildebrandt's got to get that ball off a little quicker. Again, not having played this tempo and pace, he's not quite used to it, and he's got to hopefully learn quickly from his mistakes. Get to that early and play it off early.
King with the strong header. Paulo Jr. Nunez. Perez trying to find Restrepo, but Venegas disrupted that. Good ball from Venegas. Ibarra hustling. Antonievich going to take advantage of the height difference and slow up Ibarra. Daly, good service in. Campos with the chest. Campos trying to get around Alves, and Sanchez pounces on top of it.
Good possession by Campos, but also Alves positioned himself well to keep Campos away from the ball on that turn. Watch the little chest. Campos makes a run for it, but Alves steps in, holds him off, and Campos couldn't quite get to it. And Alves protected the ball till Sanchez picked it up.
Alves with it now for the Strikers. About 5 minutes plus to play here in this first half. Daly, pitch Colin, one time forward. Head down by Antonievich. Pekka with Franks on his back, and a foul called against Floyd Franks. Franks have to be a little careful now because that's about 2 or 3 fouls against Franks here within a short amount of time. Yeah. So, you know, he could see a yellow card for that persistent infringement pretty soon as well.
He does. Pekka did well to hold the ball and shield off Franks, and Franks tried to run through him, and not allowed.
Nunez in the center circle. Antonievich. Good step by Venegas. Daly with the touch forward. Antonievich with a header down. Nunez can't control it. Dispossessed there by Takada. Takada. Referee waves for Takada to get up. Play continues with the ball at the feet of Aaron Pitch-Colin. Over to Friedland. Pressure by Salazar. Davis. Able to get away with it after a not so good first touch. Davis overruns it. Maybe was helped a little bit in overrunning it. Good recovery by Davis to win it. Play on, called by the referee. Now, Ibarra, but the flag is up from the AR.
Oh, Miguel had just hold his run a bit. Wonderful little play by Davis there and held on to it, and Takada got in. Great little pass over the top, and notice Ibarra just runs a little too early.
Yeah, just a little too.
Just a step. Just a step.
A little too north-south instead of that diagonal run.
Or even a bending run. You curl your run back a bit, and then when the ball's in the defender.
I do like for Minnesota United, something came out of nothing there just a little bit ago. Nobody really taking possession. Good hustle by Justin Davis. Finally gets back to Franks, and then boom, just quickly playing it forward, trying to connect with Miguel Ibarra. Speaking of Ibarra, here he is. Venegas. Kevin Venegas. Touched away there by Pekka, one time in. Daly. Far post, Rodriguez. Paulo Jr. with the touch. Rodriguez driving back in. Alves touches it high in the air. A fan there by King. Franks trying to come up with it. Finally, King with the clearance for the Strikers. Friedland now with it. Left footer in. Headed out there by Guerrero. Nunez with it at his feet. Little touch for Restrepo. He plays it forward, looking for Salazar. Another good step by Venegas, trying to get around Nunez, shielded off the ball. Ibarra now with it for United. Miguel Ibarra pushing it upfield. Right into Antonievich, though. And then the foul called against Ibarra.
Oh, going through, Antonievich just blocked it with his toe, I think. His big toe got to the ball and kept it from going through to, I think Kevin Venegas is making that little through run from out of the defense.
Then we look at the league standings. Minnesota United, 14 points kind of out of it. Everybody really kind of chasing the Cosmos, who, if they get a win tonight, will have clinched a spot in the Soccer Bowl at San Antonio to take on the Scorpions. But right on their heels are the Rowdies. So if the Cosmos don't win tonight and get that tie, there's still, there's still a possibility for the Rowdies of Tampa Bay to catch them and earn a spot in the Soccer Bowl. The second time in 2 years. Here's Campos now onside into the penalty area. Campos, slow it up, back across, through. Davis, Rodriguez, denied by Antonievich.
Wonderful chances, great. I love the ball by Campos, finding Rodriguez, and great opportunity.
Paulo Jr. now, right back for the Strikers. And that's blocked by Pitch-Colin. Hildebrandt, quick distribution forward. Justin Davis now.
End-to-end right now, Chris. Both teams are coming strong.
Lots of open space between the back fours. Guerrero with skill will head it back to Sanchez.
Yeah, and Justice Davis had just an easy pass to Omar. Just decided not to give it and went for the long ball and just underhit it.
Sanchez gives it right back to Minnesota. Friedland, though, with the header, goes right to Pekka wearing the gold. Friedland, Davis, taken away by Nunez. Perez trying to turn. Now Takata with Minnesota. Here's Daly with speed up the right side. Daly. And then they're going to call foul as his hand. So we may see a yellow card here issued to Omar Daly, and sure enough we do.
I think if you watch, because I believe it's just natural arm movement. Watch, cuts the ball back, comes around, just make your, oh, he threw the arm up a little bit there. He's probably got a, or that's a tough call, because sometimes you're just using your arms to shield the defender away from you. He's got to be careful of raising it too high.
Which he did, and if he goes into the chest of Salazar, I don't think there's not that much of a problem. But since Daly came up a bit high into the face of Salazar, that is why we see the yellow card out of the pocket of the referee, Alan Chapman. So we will have 2 minutes of extra time added to this first half of play. 1-1 our score. Chris Lidholm, along with Buzz Lagos and Lindsey Gensel. We appreciate you being with us on KSTC Channel 45. Pablo Campos with the goal in the 10th minute for Minnesota. And then the equalizer scored by Carlos Salazar, the player who is currently being tended to for Fort Lauderdale. His goal in 28th minute gave us our current score of 1-1.
And you see the good tempo these last 5 minutes have been, Chris. Both teams trying to get that lead goal before halftime. It's always exciting. Attack and counterattack. Makes it a very entertaining game.
They've now added another minute, so there's going to be 3 minutes of extra time added. Salazar beckoned back onto the field by the referee after being tended to. And a foul called against Friedland. So a free kick upcoming here for Fort Lauderdale from about 22, 23 yards out.
And this is where Minnesota's got to bring everybody back. I mean, I'd expect Campos to come back. Even Ibarra back. Just right now the key is to keep Fort Lauderdale from getting that goal lead before halftime.
Yeah, that is definitely one thing that Minnesota United needs to avoid here, is that late goal in the half and both teams headed to the after. So definitely something Minnesota United needs to do. As you look at Mitch Hildebrandt setting his wall, 3-man wall in front of him. This will be Salazar on the free kick for Fort Lauderdale. They'll look to go up a goal here, headed to halftime. Salazar, left footer, goes off the head, loose ball, and pouncing on top of it, Brandt.
Clutch save by Hildebrandt. I think that caught a deflection of somebody's head going in, and Hildebrandt read it and picks up somebody's head here. Bumps on Hildebrandt, just dives across and corrals that ball, gets his body well between the ball and the goal.
That was Alves who got to look to get a piece of it. Venegas. Hildebrandt with the clearance. Alves with the header there. As Friedland and Takata. Finally taken down to the ground by Campos. Leaves it for Takata. Out to Davis on the left side. Marked there by Paulo Jr. Takata. Davis now. Justin Davis. Left footer! And that was partially blocked by Antonievich, so the result would be a corner kick for Minnesota United.
Again, Fort Lauderdale's in the attacking position. Minnesota comes right back. Good, strong, positive run by Justin Davis to get that ball up the middle. Fake a few passes, get a little opening, and crack that shot on goal.
Now here it's reversed. Fort Lauderdale wants to going down a goal. Minnesota wants to try and get up a goal as we head to half. Campos, pitch Colin! And gives Minnesota a 2-1 lead.
Oh, the fortunes change dramatically, don't they, Chris? In just a moment. Here we have Fort Lauderdale, threatening down the end, and suddenly the ball gets down the other end, and a set piece comes from Minnesota. corner kick lofted high up over everybody. Up in the air, the battle. Looks like Campos gets a head on it in the box, and pitch Colin down on the ground. Whacks it in for the lead goal.
So scoring for Minnesota United. Extra time, number 4. That man, Aaron Pitch Colin, off the assist from number 9, Pablo Campos. Pitch Colin from Campos in extra time of the first half makes the score. Minnesota United 2, Fort Lauderdale 1.
And Chris, what a timely goal. It was just a great finish. It was a ball played into the box. Pablo Campos gets up strong, gets a head on it. Pitch Colin gets a little nudge, and then on the ground, whacks it in. And suddenly we have a 2-1 lead for Minnesota going into halftime.
So, it was one of those situations where, we just mentioned that Minnesota United wanted to avoid going down a goal for Fort Lauderdale. Now, here they go into the locker room, leading by 1 goal. Let's go down to Lindsay Gensel. She's with Manny Lagos.
Thanks so much, guys. Now, Coach Lagos, that last-minute goal, you're going into halftime with a 2-1 lead. What were your thoughts on the first half?
I mean, I thought we played well, obviously. I thought we were really attacking well and moving the ball and getting good chances. I thought their goal, unfortunately, we got a little chunky with Kevin coming in. He's done well since, but, I think that threw us for a little bit of a loop. But I thought the guys put a good 45 in.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we're going to say goodbye to one of the players who's meant a lot here to the Minnesota United FC group. We will take a look at Kevin Friedland's career over the last 10 years. It's something you don't want to miss. Stay tuned.
Leadership and sportsmanship. Congratulations.
Okay, so you're this stage? Okay. The race will be done in relay fashion. Each to a backspin, but they'll be using balls while standing. Contestants will place the balls on their forehead and spin around in a circle. And then they'll move on to stage 3, where contestants must score a ball that they use in the spin right down there near the beer garden. And in stage 4, they'll hustle over to the stands here
As Minnesota United's team reporter, it's an honor to get to introduce you at home, who are nice and snugly on your couches watching Channel 45, to this man, Kevin Friedland. He is retiring today after 10 years of playing professional soccer in the state of Minnesota. Let's take a look at his career.
You know, every year you kind of reevaluate where you're at, and I just think now it's time. My body's slowing down a lot. Getting out of bed is getting very difficult in the morning. I'm just ready to kind of get to that next phase in my life.
You know, it's never easy, and I've been there when you've decided to, you know, retire as a player, and you know, something that you've been doing your whole life. And I hope he, you know, understands that he had a really great career. He was a very good player. You know, he really made other guys in the field better.
You know, he's one of the guys that when I'm playing, you know, he'll go out and make sure I get a good warm-up in and giving me last-minute advice. And
the biggest thing is you're missing a player that can come and talk to young players, especially when young guys are going through periods of frustration or maybe their confidence drops. You know, Kevin's been through it all.
He knows how to manage the game very well. And those kind of smarts are invaluable at times when he's on the field.
I think I'll miss that the most is, you know, just another guy that is knowledgeable about other players and teams in the league.
I look back at my career and have done a lot of things and enjoyed every moment of it and have no regrets. A couple moments to stand out: the 2005 Open Cup run, where we were kind of this underdog that went through and knocked off quite a few MLS teams, and obviously the finals both in 2011 and 2012, and going over and singing Wonderwall with the fans, or last year when Connor went sliding into the boards and all the fans spilled onto the field. I think those are moments where, you know, you kind of look back and it's like, wow, that was pretty cool.
I don't think there's anyone better in the locker room or in the club.
Yeah, Kevin's the only one on the team that's been here longer than I have.
You know, it's rare that you get to spend such a long time in one place with one club. And that's something I'm grateful for.
I don't know, I feel like at this point it's almost synonymous with Minnesota soccer.
It's a nice ending that, you know, we have this transition this year where I think we have a better vision than we've ever had for soccer in the future, and Kevin certainly has helped us get to that point.
And I really feel it's celebrating a culture that, you know, in a lot of ways is a big part of.
I think the game would be poorer for him if he didn't stay within it.
I think he's an example of showing people how to do things the right way, and he's made a lot of people better soccer players, and he was a darn good soccer player himself.
Played with so many guys over the years, and you know, I think they would just expect me to kind of say thank you, drop the mic, and walk out.
through the first 45. Minnesota United leads 2-1 on an early goal in the first half and a late goal. 2-1 our score through 45 minutes play. Stay with us for the second 45 right after this. You're watching Minnesota United Soccer on KSTC Channel 45. Welcome back, everyone. We're at the National Sports Center in Blaine as you look at the halftime stats. Minnesota United leading 2-1 over the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Fort Lauderdale having the better opportunity. Minnesota United, 2 goals off of 2 shots on goal.
Capitalizing their chances, Chris. That's what Minnesota's done, and Fort Lauderdale's been dangerous. Minnesota's been quick and tough, too. It's relative, even though shots are in Fort Lauderdale's favor, it's really been a very even game. Very tight match, and either team could have gotten that second goal down the end of that first half.
Yeah, possession very even there, 51% for Minnesota, 49% for Fort Lauderdale. So the thing that both teams wanted to do was avoid, giving up a goal late. Unfortunately for Fort Lauderdale, they did just that, and so Minnesota United headed to the locker room with a 1-goal lead off the goal by Aaron Pitchkolin.
The nice thing about the 1-goal lead is just going to force Fort Lauderdale out of a little bit of a shell, come and attack, going to open up counters for Minnesota. I think we can see a couple more goals in this game, Chris, either way.
We are underway with the second half. Again, Chris Lidholm along with Buzz Lagos and Lindsey Gensel, and we appreciate you being with us on KSTC Channel 45. Saw a good first half between these two teams, and we're expecting an equally good half, if not better, second half from them as well. And a foul called against Daly as he came in on the tackle with his cleats up. Can't in laces showing.
Yeah, referee, I think, whistled a dangerous play. Again, just like you don't want to give up a goal late in the half, you don't want to give up early in the half either. You want to keep your lead now and put the pressure on Fort Lauderdale.
This will be Restrepo on the free kick. Good ball driven in, off the head of Alves. Loose ball in front, cleared away by Venegas. And Antonievich is holding his head right near the penalty spot in the Minnesota penalty area. So Stefan Antonievich down. Maybe took a bit of a knock to the head on that ball played up in the air by Alves.
Yeah, I couldn't see what had happened in there. If his heads collided or a foot caught his head, he went down low for one. I don't know what happened.
And a player is down for Minnesota United as well. Take a look. Take a look as they tend to the injured players. Here are the fall season standings. You see Fort Lauderdale with 17 points. Pretty much it's a race between the New York Cosmos and the Tampa Bay Rowdies. New York Cosmos are playing down in San Antonio this evening at Toyota Field. If they win, they're in to the Soccer Bowl. They will face the Atlanta Silverbacks, who were the spring champions. Atlanta clinching that spot here, at the National Sports Center. As we look at Antonievich walking off under his own power, it's Pablo Campos who is the player down for Minnesota United. Athletic trainer Tom Smith tending to Campos. Not quite sure. Something happened maybe in that mix when the ball was up in the air.
Likely a head collision, Chris, right now. They probably both bumped heads, and again, where on your head you get struck is where how much danger is involved and how much pain, how much of the extent of the injury will be. And again, the rules about concussion are very strict now, so trainers are really trained going up for it.
So you see Campos, when he was going up for the header, coming up with the elbow a bit, catching Antonievich. So not quite sure in the looked like at one point he was kind of holding his leg, so not quite sure. As the referee over there, as well as a collection of players, along with Tom Smith, the athletic trainer for Minnesota United, who is currently tending to Campos, and looks like they might be kind of working on that right leg of the forward for United.
Maybe he came down funny on it in that jump. Maybe off the ball somebody kicked him. We didn't see. I don't know. You never know what could happen behind the scenes sometimes.
Minnesota United FC would like to acknowledge Fairview Sports and Orthopedic Care. Get back in the game fast with Fairview. From team trainers to team doctors, Fairview Sports and Orthopedic Care is the official medical provider of Minnesota United FC, which seems to be good currently on what we've got going on in the field. So Campos slowly walking behind the goal. We'll see if he will return for Minnesota United. And they're still tending to Rich. He seems to be all right. Might be the fact that there's a contact lens or something, because they're now working on Antonievich's eye. Looks like he contact lens is loose or missing or something to that effect. Campos gingerly walking around to the sidelines. We're back to play. This is Pekka giving it to Nunez. Alves. Now we'll have to see how Fort Lauderdale adjusts with Antonievich, one of their big center defenders, out for the time being.
Well, it's 10v10 right now, so the numbers are even.
Alves. Right to Davis. Takata. Daly with it. Out to Venegas. Up to defend is Guerrero. Venegas working well on that right side. Pulls it back. Here's Pitch Colin with one of the goals for United here this evening. Ibarra. Back to Friedland. Davis with it now. Bringing it field line. Gives it back to Davis. Campos onside. Campos, number 2! Doesn't happen, just over the bar.
Down nicely by Pablo. And keeper came out well. Sanchez came out well. Campos tried to get it up over him. Just delicate touch. Watch Chris. Nice little chip by Justin Davis. Up over the defender. Just gives the defender what I call a haircut. Chests it down. Keeps his body there. Just tries to get a little flick over. Just couldn't quite do it. Again, I'm a left foot guy in those. But the right foot's a strong foot.
I got an update from athletic trainer Tom Smith on Pablo Campos, and it sounds like it's just an elbow contusion. So for those of you who didn't know what it was, I had to ask too. Just a bruise to his elbow, nothing too serious. Just kind of got it tweaked in the wrong way there.
Thank you, Lindsay. And a good recovery by Ibarra to take it away from Nunez. Rodriguez taking an elbow full from Perez.
Rodriguez wasn't in good position, though. Perez had the position on him.
Restrepo. Good tackle by Takada. Here's Kentaro Takada. Through off of Alves. Gets to it just a step ahead of Campos.
I thought it was almost a great timing on that pass, and Alves just got a touch on it again. The big toe came through, kept it away from Campos. The game of inches.
Paulo Jr. now. Nunez. Perez. Taken away by Franks. He's forced to play it back to Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt knocks it long. Daly trying to shield Guerrero. Good step by Pekka. Perez now. Back Salazar. Good through ball. Here's Restrepo. But the flag comes up from the AR. Restrepo offside.
Yeah, that was a close one. Nice through ball. Good run out of the midfield by Restrepo to get behind the defense. But the linesman's right on that line, and see if he judges it well.
Ooh, not so...
Very close.
Yeah, very, very close. Not so sure on that. Restrepo might have a case. Great pass by Davis.
Right idea, but just keep that ball in play. Good for first time. Miguel Ibarra, who made a good run.
Alves. Sanchez with the clearance. Headed down nicely by Franks to the foot of Takada. Poked away there by Pekka. Step by King. Pushes it into space for himself. Over comes Friedland. Hard tackle. Takes a good whack. And King, he's already playing with danger. He's already in the book once. Referee Alan Chapman calling King over and telling him to be smart.
And King came in very late.
There we look at a couple scores going on as well. Atlanta Silverback and Carolina Railhawks playing in Carolina. The Railhawks leading 2-0 at half. Carolina was here last week, as everyone knows, coming out with 3 points. And in 10 minutes from now, the Scorpions and Cosmos will kick off at Toyota Field in a very big game for New York. If they win tonight, they will clinch a spot into the Soccer Bowl and take on the Atlanta Silverbacks, who are the spring champions. That game will be played at Silverbacks Park. So very, very important game for the New York Cosmos. If they don't win, Tampa Bay still has a chance to catch them here with the game tomorrow in Edmonton and then next week as well. So that could have an impact. That, you know, New York controls their own destiny.
Yes, they do. But they have 2 tough road games, Chris, to get the point they need. Point or points.
On that tough takedown there on Kevin Friedland, I noticed one of the officials warning the other team that if Darnell King has another outburst, he'll be out of the game. So something to keep in mind as this game continues. Lots of yellow cards given so far, warnings, but one they are watching right now.
Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, Darnell King already has that yellow card he received in the 38th minute. And you know, tackles like that, he's playing with danger. And, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a second yellow to King if he continues the antics. So he's going to be playing with a little bit of danger.
He's got to play with much more control. And that's what he needs to recognize that. Just can't be reckless.
Davis on the throw-in. Takata. Friedland playing in his final game at home after a wonderful 10-year career. King under pressure from Rodriguez and Campos, able to get out of it, finding Alves. Good hustle by Rodriguez to put that pressure on. Well up by Pitchkolin. Goes right to Restrepo though. He'll drive it towards the corner. That'll run on, and it'll be a goal kick for Minnesota United. NASL Soccer Bowl 2013 will be played in Atlanta on Saturday, November 9th, when the winner of the current NASL fall season takes on the Atlanta Silverbacks, the NASL spring champion. Get your tickets to the championship game now at www.atlantasilverbacksfc.com or by calling 404-969-4900. That's www.atlantasilverbacksfc.com or 404-969-4900.
Great bump on by Miguel, won the air ball, and Pablo Campos not positioned himself well.
Franks with it now for driving to the corner. Daly on his horse. Daly back to Venegas. Able to get it back to Takata now. Play it over to the left. Justin Davis with a bit of space. Around Junior, colliding with King. Rolls on to Rodriguez, left-footed in-swinger. And right down, Rodriguez. Ibarra, Campos, Ibarra! That will float wide.
Actually good little one-touch passing there. Nice ball. I like the ball by Campos back to Miguel. Miguel just not on his toes, dancing, waiting for that ball to get good shot on goal. Always have to be prepared, the old Boy Scout motto. The opportunity may come at any moment to a forward.
Nunez, Perez, Paulo Jr. Back to Perez. With space is Salazar. Left footer. Headed high in the air by Friedland. Here comes Hildebrand. 18 yards to collect it.
Kevin Friedland got up well to cut that ball off and get up in the air for Hildebrand to corral it.
That's one thing about Kevin Friedland. He can sky. He can get up there.
Great vertical. Great vertical. Prides himself in his ability to jump and head that ball out of trouble.
He only stands 5'8" on a good day, and able to get up there and win a lot of air balls. Ibarra turning upfield. Franks. Rodriguez gives it to an overlapping Justin Davis. Davis. That is blocked by Paulo Jr. It'll be a throw-in for United.
Nice recovery by Jr. to block that one. Good overlapping run and good pressure by Minnesota on Fort Lauderdale down this left flank. Still alive.
Ibarra with it. He'll play it in. Far post, looking for Daly. Daly trying to get it back. Here's Restrepo, not the best of first touches. Venegas comes up with it for United, though. Daly working against Guerrero. Daly gets the cross in. Touch there by Antonievich. Nunez now. Pekka bringing it up through the center circle.
Let the attack occur. I'll just make a comment later on about positioning of Ibarra and.
Good through ball for Nunez, who's onside. Nunez around Pitchkolin. Perez! And he sails it high. And that brings assistant coach Carl Craig up off the bench.
Just a great play by Nunez. Watch a little nutmeg around him. Pitchkolin gets his feet in tight. Great lay, but could have shot. Leaves it off, and Hildebrand comes out strong and puts pressure on him. The defensive observation. Kevin Venegas stands and watches Nunez go by Pitchkolin instead of getting behind him defensively. If he's behind Pitchkolin in that situation, Nunez goes nowhere. And that get coaches to pull their hair out. What's going on? We teach you these defensive principles. What are you doing, Kevin Venegas? All you have to do is get behind him, and that chance is denied.
Simple things sometimes made very, very difficult.
I know it, Chris. It's hopefully players keep learning. Kevin Vegas is still a relatively young player. Hopefully he'll keep learning from these situations and get that mental toughness, that resolve to always get back behind the ball, back behind the defender, in good position.
Substitution for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers now into the game is Bradley Baladez, number 16. He replaces number 10 Walter Restrepo. So Baladez in for Restrepo for the Strikers. And Baladez has come in off the bench for head coach Gunther Grunsteiner quite a bit during the season and has some success and has been finding the back of the net. So Minnesota will now have to keep an eye on him. Daly. Takata. Taken away. Baladez. Salazar, now Nunez. He'll slow it up. Nunez once again. Salazar on the left side for the Strikers. Perez off the knee of Ibarra, enough for it to go on to the foot of Lucas Rodriguez. Playing it long, looking for Campos, trying to get there ahead of Antonievich. Campos looking. Nothing doing, says the referee. Play continues.
When two big guys go at it and you fall down easily, you're usually not going to get a foul.
Salazar. Pekka. Alves to it first. Pekka, little trouble with it, battling with Franks. Salazar, now Pekka once again.
Good
Finally runs out of luck. Takata. Ibarra. Quite working right now for Minnesota's midfield and forward.
No, Miguel just assumed.
Against Franks or Ibarra. Referee calling Franks over to have a few words with him.
Frank's just disappointed because basically it looked like Pekka just went down. Two players converged on him, and there probably didn't look like much of a foul. Step, the ball comes. I saw no foul, Chris. Do you see a foul? Pekka just fell backwards and fell down.
Yeah, not at all. There was
fooled the referee.
Maybe shielded a little bit from his vantage point by Franks, and a little frustration shown by Minnesota. Baladez goes down after the tackle for Friedland. Salazar puts it back in. And the only person there, Mitch Hildebrandt from Minnesota United.
A little too much lofted, bending right into Hildebrandt's hands. Easily hit. Fort Lauderdale showing a little rhythm now and tempo in this game and taking away from Minnesota.
Paulo Jr. Perez, back to Paulo Jr. Now King. Playing in, Perez, blocked by Pitch Colin. Daly. Oh, nippy little move by Franks around Pekka. Franks. And then it doesn't go anywhere. Here now, Venegas. Let it run out of play, and it'll be a throw in.
Great positive run by Franks. Floyd Franks turned, raced upfield, just that little delivery pass wasn't there. He could not complete it when we kind of needed it. Minnesota needed that one.
65th minute of play, Minnesota with a 2-1 lead. Antonievich. He'll play it out. Headed nicely there by Paulo Jr. And then they're going to call a dangerous against Rodriguez. And Manny Lagos getting quite frustrated in his technical area.
I always get a concern when I see a referee call a dangerous play when the foot's up high. If it's a skillful play, it's not dangerous.
Pekka. Now Perez. Perez being marked closely there by Takata. Salazar has it knocked away by Daly.
Miguel Ibarra is coming back nicely to, of course, disrupt that Fort Lauderdale attack.
Good tackle by Rodriguez to win it. Working against Paulo Jr. Rodriguez taken down, foul by Paulo Jr.
By Lucas Rodriguez. Held it well, held the player off, made his run up the line a bit, and got his inside right leg taken out from underneath him and drew the foul. Okay, so they call both players had their foot up in the air in that situation.
Yeah, both went in, and
I know.
Even on that replay, you don't even see the bottom of Lucas Rodriguez's shoes.
Very tight.
Venegas. He was helped down a little bit there by Pekka. Play continues. Sanchez with it.
Not much space to give a through ball in that situation to Campos, which Venegas tried to do. But good run by Venegas and dangerous situation.
Guerrero with it now for the Strikers. In for Alves. He'll slow it up. Sanchez. No real movement up top from Fort Lauderdale, Buzz.
No, they're a little static right now. I don't know if the cold weather's got them tired, but...
Here's Campos. Campos. Daly. Back to Campos. Almost worked his way through. Alves. Forced to push it out to Guerrero. Minnesota now pushing up, putting that pressure on Fort Lauderdale. Pekka. Guerrero. Finally clear it. Let's turn right back over to Minnesota United in the middle third. Here's Davis. Ibarra. Davis. Justin Davis. Can't quite pull the trigger.
Lost that ball.
Right back, though. Here comes Minnesota United. Franks out to Daly. Daly, he'll drive it in. Top of the 18, Ibarra with it. Franks. Smart touch from Franks. Rodriguez to the corner. Takada. His cross blocked there by King. Here come the Strikers now. Trying to get it out of the back. Salazar with it.
Another update from athletic trainer Tom Smith. So we obviously talked about Mitch Hildenbrand's surgery early on in the preseason. Minnesota United also lost goalie Daryl Sattler to a hip surgery, but one that fans might not know about. Midfielder Michael Reed had surgery on his right shoulder yesterday, so we'll keep you up to date on all of that, but wishing him a speedy recovery from everyone here at Minnesota United.
Good tackle by Pitch Colin. Valadez gives it to Salazar. Will touch over the top. Hildebrandt will let it run long. It'll be a goal kick for United. Yeah, Michael Reed been playing very, very well during this 2013 season, getting quite a few starts for head coach Manny Lagos in that defensive.
Yeah, he's been a very effective player for Minnesota. Really battles well, helps solidify that defense in that midfield area.
Speaking of Manny Lagos, there you look at his resume. First team All-American at UW Milwaukee. Spending time with the Olympic team, including scoring the game winner against Kuwait in '92. And 7 seasons with the Thunder, along with 5 seasons in MLS with multiple teams. And a very good playing career for Manny Lagos.
10 seasons MLS,
Correction.
Chris.
10 seasons, 5 teams.
Okay, remember these things.
You would know.
I would know. And I was at the '92 Olympics in Barcelona to see him score that goal against Kuwait in Zaragoza, Spain.
Hildebrandt with the clearance. Bounce over the head of Rodriguez. Throw in for the strike. 70th minute. 2-1 our score. Campos and Pitch Colin, the goal scorers for Minnesota. Salazar, the goal scorer for the Strikers. Guerrero. Pekka. King now. Bit of a miss hit. King able to recover. Salazar with skill to keep it in between the lines. Alves pressured by Campos. King back to Antonievich.
Get out of trouble nicely, Fort Lauderdale. Minnesota's just pressuring a little late. Not reading the flow of the ball quick enough.
Nunez. Pekka once again in the center circle. Finding an open Darnell King. Salazar on the right side. Tries a one-touch. It goes off of Davis, and will stay with the team in yellow.
So like Lucas Rodriguez, tucked back and wide, but Takada should be closing that ball down when it's played back toward the middle instead of Rodriguez.
Perez gets the cross off. Here comes Hildebrand, who punches it away with his right hand.
Good read and safe play by Hildebrand.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, it was played in, and as a goalkeeper, you wanted one of two things. You either keep it going in the path it is going, or you punch it right back to where it came from. And Mitch Hildebrand did a nice job of continuing it on its path, and no one was there, and goes out of in for Fort Lauderdale. Free kick here for the Strikers.
I guess the referee felt Miguel Ibarra used his arms a little bit too much to win that ball back.
Guerrero on the service. Goes off the back of Venegas, and it'll be a corner kick for the Strikers.
Again, good size and strength up top by Fort Lauderdale. Makes these dangerous. I really think Jorge Campos should come back on these with his good ability in the air. Help defend. You have a 1-goal lead. Let's make
Carlos Salazar on the corner kick. Off the head of King and over the goal. And a goal kick for United. We want to remind you, we'd like to hear from you if you have any questions or comments for us throughout the game here. We've got about 20 minutes to play. You can send them to us via United FC. Make sure you use the hashtag GameDayQ. Or if you'd like to send them via Facebook, facebook.com/MNUnitedFC. We'd like to hear from you. If you have some questions for Buzz or myself or for Lindsay, make sure you send them our way, and we'll try and read them live on the air in these final 20 minutes of our game on Channel 45. Guerrero on the left side, playing it up the line.
Great pass.
Perez. Back on the line, and Valadez tries it. Ball kept in by Friedland. Takada turns it over. Now another opportunity for Fort Lauderdale. Perez again. And he again is off frame with his shot.
Minnesota keeps looking for the foul. Just can't lose the ball there. We talked about the Fort Lauderdale defender who at the time got whacked in the lower end. Taki just has 3 guys around him. He just got to give it away. Knock it away. You just can't give it away like he did. And that's that experience. You just you got to get your body behind the ball and whack it out of somewhere. So in that setting.
Gunther Kronsteiner, the head coach, standing there with the hood on. It's probably a little cold for some of these Floridians or guys who are playing down in Florida and used to this weather, or not used to this weather, rather.
At least he's dressed pretty well, Chris.
Yeah,
you learned to dress well with this weather. But in this game, Fort Lauderdale, as would be expected in this second, trying to get that goal back. Coach Lagos just hopes that the pressure is responded with a good counter from Minnesota and that insurance goal.
Takada able to touch it out to Daly. Back to Takada. Ibarra. Campos. Little poke shot. With his second of the
great passing sequence to set up that ball, cut outside, back inside. Nice touch, little through ball to Pablo Campos in traffic. Fakes, then a little quick touch inside that far post. Sanchez just couldn't see it with the crowd. It just came right through the crowd and into the goal. It gives that insurance goal that Coach Lagos was hoping to get. Although we still have quite a few minutes before the end of the game. Again, Taka comes in, Ibarra looks, little through ball to Campos. Campos touched. Defender kind of mishits it, falls right back to Campos' foot. He whacks it quickly inside the far post. The touch, bad touch with the defender. Campos blocks and strikes. But you notice the pressure of a goal scorer like Pablo Campos, just staying with the ball, and then the quick release, little touch and the quick whack before the keeper can get set. Doesn't realize it's coming.
So scoring his second goal of the evening, number 9, Pablo Campos. The assist to number 23, Miguel Ibarra. Campos from Ibarra in the 75th minute makes the score. Minnesota United 3, Fort Lauderdale 1. The flares, the smoke signs are in full effect on the side with the dark clouds. The flares, all of it. Minnesota United fans have been kind of waiting a while to see this kind of goal output from their team all season long.
Yeah, we've looked for multiple goal games. They've been tough to come by.
Daly, good turn around Salazar. Omar Daly with speed up the right side, trying to get around Guerrero. Daly still working that sideline. Pulls it back. Daly now needs help. Able to find it with Venegas. Oh, nifty turn. Venegas left footer. Oh, if he would have finished that one, that would have been beautiful.
He nicely, great little
call by the referee. Taken over by Ibarra. Rodriguez takes it down. Loose ball in the center circle. Finally a foul called, but United's Floyd Franks.
Little mix-up with Rodriguez and Franks and who was going to get that ball and take charge of it. Came down. There was a minor foul by Franks in the first player. No card, nothing involved. The player once. There was no really hard, vicious tackle at all.
We have a substitution taking place for Fort Lauderdale. This will be number 19, Gonzalo de Mujica, replacing number 12, Ivan Guerrero. So Gonzalo de Mujica in for the Strikers, replacing Guerrero. That substitution taking place in the 78th minute. Headed away by Davis, giving up the throw-in. So Fort Lauderdale now here, Buzz, about 10-12 minutes to play. Bringing in a midfielder to replace a defender. De Mujica will probably push forward, especially being down by 2. As Davis shields Paulo Jr. Strikers once again quickly taken by King.
Yeah, they're going to put an attacking offense going right now. They want to get some goals.
Ibarra. Rodriguez. Tried it.
Very tight space to work in.
They're going to say it was last touch by Valadez.
Looked like the right call from up here.
So a throw in for Minnesota United. They lead 3-1. We're in the 79th minute at the National Sports Center. Coming to you this evening on KSTC Channel 45. Thanks for being with us. Chris Lidholm, Buzz Lagos, Lindsey Gensel with you. Alves right on his back. We'll have a foul called against Alves.
Yeah, Miguel leaned into him nicely and drew that foul.
There you see Pablo Campos with his 2 goals this evening, gives him a total of 11 on the season for Minnesota United. And that was one of the reasons he was brought to score goals, and he's done exactly that, Buzz.
Yes, it's finding goal scorers. It's a precious commodity. And you hope they can do more things than just score goals for your team, because you're not always scoring goals, and he's done well for Minnesota.
Daly again up the right side. Good ball driven in. That'll work its way all the way through, and Rodriguez, bit of a miss hit, goes wide.
Yeah, Lucas should have probably taken it around again. Omar Daly's doing quite well on that right flank this last few minutes. He's really helped develop that counter, gets around the player, whacking that ball up over Sanchez to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez just couldn't get that left leg around the ball, so skipped up high on him.
Normally that left foot doesn't Rodriguez, but on that opportunity it did. Hildebrandt will bring it in to himself, trying to take as much time off the clock as possible. Clearance from Hildebrandt. Ibarra. I know Hildebrandt has friends and family watching in Illinois and Michigan. Pekka. Now King. Good step by Takada. Oh, look at this. 6 minutes in. San Antonio with an early 1-0 lead over New York. So, granted it's just the 6th minute, but not the best of starts for New York going down a goal, especially on the road in San Antonio.
Davis says be careful going a little more gently than that, although, was it King who went down, or Guetta went down kind of easily on that one.
Thomas Zahorski with the goal for San Antonio, giving them that early lead. Zahorski doing quite well. Brilliant finisher for the Scorpions this season. It's been a good matchup with Hans Dennison. Dennison out this evening, so they'll be relying on Zahorski, and he has already responded for San Antonio and interim head coach Alan Marcina. Davis to put it back in play here at the National Sports Center. Minnesota United leading 3-1. 2 goals from Pablo Campos, 1 from Aaron Pitchkolin. Salazar with the lone goal so far.
Tonight, he's got a great touch, very deceptive, good subtle movements, and causing Fort Lauderdale lots of trouble. Watch a little touch there, touch gets away, touch back away, touch back in again, and gets taken down.
So a free here for Minnesota United. Aaron Pitchkolin, one of the goal scorers here for United this evening, taking the free kick. Taken down nicely by here, Rodriguez now. Lucas Rodriguez. Denied by Alves. Takada touches back. Davis. He'll play it back to Friedland. Hildebrandt. He'll knock it long. Dimujica takes it down. Taken away by Campos. Campos to the corner. Good sliding tackle by Antonievich.
Let his touch get too far away from him. Antonievich came in with a nice tackle. Well.
Salazar over to King. Salazar now for the Strikers, finding Nunez. Pekka played out right to King. In front of the Minnesota bench. Salazar. Salazar in for Perez. He has a strike from distance. Not missing by much on that one.
No, I think Hildebrandt was beat on that one. Great little turn. Again, Minnesota let themselves down. What? Little ball played in, but nobody's stepping up to close it. Pitchkolin, Friedland, they got to come and close. There's Kevin Friedland turning his back, a little half heel. He'd be upset at this player being a coach. He go and step and close that guy down.
Substitution for Minnesota United, now on for the home team. Is Mike Ambersley. He replaces Lucas Rodriguez.
So we might put Amberley's up top and Miguel wide. We'll see what they want to do here.
Campos called for the foul. Alves on the restart. Salazar. Nunez, good touch.
Yes, sir.
Pekka. Valadez has a strike. Perez! And Hildebrandt able to get enough of it and parry it wide.
Another great save by Matt Hildebrandt. Watch the run up the middle of the field by Pekka. Lays it off, the shot, bounces off wide. A little touch by Hildebrandt to keep that out of the goal. Who was that took this with? That one?
Perez off the head of Friedland, and he goes up and gets it again. Side volley there by King, hits traffic. Campos comes back to get it. Campos, good turn upfield there by Paulo.
I thought Paulo Jr. had a good play on the ball on that one, and Paulo just went down, but Minnesota can use a break right now. Great attack by Fort Lauderdale.
Today's broadcast is copyrighted 2013 Minnesota United FC. All rights reserved. This material may not be reproduced, displayed, modified, or distributed without the express prior written permission of the copyright holder. For permission, contact rights@mnunitedfc.com. Daly now. Back to Venegas. In for Franks. Pitch Colin over to Venegas. Pressured by Dimuhica. Colin, he'll play it back to Hildebrandt. He'll one-time it out. Daly can't keep it in play, so it'll be a throw-in for the Strikers. We're in the 87th minute here, a 3-1 game in favor.
Good defending by Minnesota down that stretch. Goal line defending by the defenders.
Headed there by Friedland. Controlled by Ambersley. Antonievich now for the Strikers. Dimuhica. Pekka. Valadez back to Salazar. King with it. Salazar. Nunez. Defended by Friedland. Back to Salazar. Nunez. Martin Nunez. Dimuhica. Salazar once again. Valadez. He'll play it in. Touched away by Pitch Colin. King. Step by Pitch Colin, wins it for United. Aaron Pitch Colin with speed right up the middle of the field. Bringing it out of the back. Aaron Pitch Colin with a goal so far for United. Out to Daly on the right. He'll play it. A little too strong. Campos has time to collect it. Ibarra top of the 18. Good bending shot and a save by Sanchez.
Good recovery by Aaron Pitch Colin too. He's getting back quickly.
Good step by Ibarra to get there ahead of Paulo Jr. Back heel for Takata. Substitution upcoming here for Minnesota United. Brian Coleman getting ready to enter. And we will see, I believe, the departure of Omar Daly.
Miguel strikes, but just not enough power. He's trying to bend it up that far corner, but he's got to get laces on that one and hit it with power to beat Salazar. That was just a pass back.
So Brian Coleman getting ready to enter the game here for United, replacing Omar Daly, who had a wonderful game for United, especially up that right side. A great work rate today from number 17.
Second half, he got his rhythm, found his momentum. He's starting to use his pace. Now they'll put Brian Coleman back at right defense and get Kevin Venegas to push up into Omar Daly's wide right position.
Pekka now bringing it forward.
Daly, the only two fathers on the team, well, they're going to have to pass off a lot of advice because it's going to be busy offseason for a couple of the players on Minnesota United squads. Matt Van Oekel, Mike Ambersley, and Lucas Rodriguez all expecting babies in the offseason. Matt and his wife Jen are expecting a baby boy. Mike Ambersley and his wife Lauren expecting a baby boy. And Lucas and his girlfriend Lexi will find out on Wednesday what they're having. So boys, practice your diaper changing skills. We're going to need them next season with 3 new additions to the Minnesota United family.
And if we'll know the 3 sleepy or most tired players next season, because those will be the guys who haven't got a chance to get any sleep here during this offseason. So, yeah, best of luck to all 3 of them in the arrivals of their new ones that'll be joining their families here during this offseason. Ibarra with it now. Ibarra. A little touch there by Campos. Hard collision between Davis and Alves. Nunez, 3 minutes of extra time. 3 minutes of extra time added to this second half of play. Takata. Out to Venegas. Venegas, slow jog. No need to really push forward with any pace. Just keep possession, which is very important for Minnesota United, but they turn it over in the middle third. Nunez now with it. Across the midfield stripe. Valadez. Good turn. Looking upfield now. Out to Perez, not the best of first touches. Up to defend was Coleman momentarily. Pekka, he'll swing it in for Salazar. Paulo Jr. on the right side for the Strikers. Good service in. Gets through the 18.
Great ball by Salazar. Tough to handle for both the attacking players and defending players.
Perez working against Coleman. Back to Pekka. Salazar, one touch, over the top. Pekka doesn't get to it and keep it in play, so it'll be a goal kick for Minnesota United.
I'll back up to Kevin Venegas. You know, the problem with him slowing the ball down is that allowed Fort Lauderdale to surround him with defenders, and Minnesota couldn't get out again. You've got to slow it by passing quickly. It seems ironic, but the good one-touch passes gets the ball, them chasing, suddenly always finds an open player, and you keep possession for 4 or 5 minutes, and the game's over. You just can't stop the ball and let them surround you.
Waiting the goal kick from Mitch Hildebrandt. Here's a run by Di Mujica. King with the touch. Paulo Jr. Blocked by Davis. Corner kick, Strikers.
Fort Lauderdale keeps pushing, trying to get that second goal and maybe a third one if they can get one in 30 seconds or so.
Salazar to take the corner. Left footer. Will play it all the way back. Good strike by Di Mujica, but well wide. Be a Minnesota United.
And a good close by Kevin Friedland. Nice to see the veteran see that ball played out and close the player down. With that pressure, just gets a little anxious and overhit the ball and don't get it quite on goal.
Everyone awaiting the goal kick from Mitch Hildebrandt. Under the direction of the referee, plays it. Davis. Campos. And that'll do it here at the National Sports Center. The Minnesota United go on to defeat the Fort Lauderdale Strikers 3-1. 2 goals by Pablo Campos, 1 by Aaron Pitchgolan. The lone goal for Fort Lauderdale scored by Carlos Salazar. That is it here. Minnesota United gets a nice win on their last home game, the final game for Kevin Friedland. They defeat the Strikers 3-1. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are still on the stream online for those of you watching. Minnesota United getting a big 3-1 win, and Lindsey Gensel gets to talk to a happy Manny Lagos on the NSC field.
He'll be smiling.
A very happy Manny Lagos. It's very rare at the home that we get to spend time together after a win. It's a good way to end the season. What were your thoughts on tonight's game?
Just very proud of the guys. You know, again, I think it's been, some years where we had some special moments and we haven't quite put everything together to achieve our goals. But, we're really building something special, I think, for the future. And I think tonight was important. The guys and us and the club, we wanted to show this community, these fans, that, we're something special and we can do well.
What were your thoughts on spring season versus fall season, especially ending it here tonight with the home match?
I think it's just so important for us, to let our fans know that we're excited about the future. And there's a lot of good things this team to build from, the vision of this club, the vision of Minnesota. Now, obviously, everybody should know about the McGuire Group's, willingness to make sure that soccer is going to be here for a long time to come. It's so exciting. Like I said, on the field, we're going to be the game, but we're really proud of the guys tonight. They really wanted to show our fans that there's going to be some special moments in the future. All
right, well, we'll be cheering you on next week as you guys head down to Tampa Bay to take on the Rowdies. Best of luck, Coach, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you guys.
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. And Manny Lagos, there was a tinge of happiness. He just kind of business as usual, getting that win, which was, you'd have to say this 3-1 win for head coach Manny Lagos was maybe a little bit of weight off of his shoulders, something that he'd been waiting a long time for.
Yeah, he really has been. He really wanted to get this victory. It's been a long time coming for the players, because he's rooting for the team, Chris, and for the players. He knows they want it badly too, and they've been working hard in training, working hard all season, and suddenly they finally got rewarded with their last home game with 3 goals. One thing to think about too, next week they're going to Tampa. That could be a big game for Tampa if Cosmos don't win tonight.
We're going to go back down to Lindsay Gensel. She is with the man of the match, the man who played in his last game, Kevin Friedland.
Not a bad way to go into retirement tonight. There were early chants for Kevin Friedland. We saw you come into the game really early. What were your thoughts on tonight's win?
The guys really, fought for me for this one, and they really worked hard. We put it all together, and got the result we needed.
A long career in Minnesota. You never thought as a California boy that you'd stick around. Your last opportunity to kind of say something to the fans. What are your thoughts?
Just thank you for all the support for the last 10 years, and keep supporting the team.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Congratulations. Good way to end the season, a big win for Minnesota United FC. We'll see you next weekend. You guys can join us down at Brits Pub in downtown Minneapolis. We'll watch Minnesota United take on Tampa Bay. Back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, Lindsay, and congratulations to Kevin Friedland on a wonderful 10-year career as a player.
And great to get on the field and contribute in a significant way to a 3-1 win. That's what a veteran competitive battle, and help that team come out on top. As I said, next week could be a key match for Tampa, and we'll see the results for tonight, and Minnesota could prove to be the spoiler.
Could very well be. Take a look at the final stats here this evening from National Sports Center. Shots in favor of the Strikers, 13-9. Only 4 shots on goal for Minnesota United, getting 3 of those in the back of the net.
3 important goals. It was just the ones we needed. But timely finishes, good moments of the game to get all those goals to come away with this win.
This win will move Minnesota United's record to 5 wins, 2 ties, 6 losses. Fort Lauderdale goes to 5 wins, 2 ties, and 6 losses as well. Well, that'll do it here from the National Sports Center. For Buzz Lagos, Lindsay Gensel, producer-director Brad Baker, Sam Papai, our entire crew. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Chris Lidham. We appreciate your support, your viewership over the season, and we look forward to 2014 and beyond. Our final here, Minnesota United 3, Fort Lauderdale Strikers 1. Again, thanks for watching. Enjoy your evening, everyone.